Hello, BookTube. I've got a small 3-book mail haul for you here, but before we go on to that, I wanted to start not only with an addendum, but a recommendation. The other day, I got Murder on Millionaires Row by Erin Lindsay, a novel about the great Gilded Age of New York with the super rich mansions and whatnot, narrated by a serving woman in one of those houses. And you remember at the time that I got that book, it rang a bell distantly of I just recently got another book that was likewise narrated by a serving woman in Gilded Age New York. And I couldn't remember what it was, and I found out what it was, and it occurred to me that I haven't recommended it, and I want to, because it's very, very good. We've seen it on this channel. It's A Death of No Importance by Maria Fredericks. This is her... she's a young adult author, and this is her adult fiction debut, and it was very, very good. And I want to recommend it to you. It's another murder set in New York City in 1910, and I want to read you the opening that stuck in my mind, and that nagged at me when I opened Murder on Millionaires Row. The book starts this way. It's a very good opening. I will tell it. I will tell it badly, forgetting things that are important and remembering things that never happened. In that, this narrative will be no different from any other. Only the specifics of what is forgotten and remembered will distinguish it as mine. Why tell it at all, then? A story already so well known, concerning, as it does, wealthy families, a handsome couple, and murder. Because the story you have heard is wrong. The headlines you have seen, the editorials bemoaning the sorry state of our modern world, all sincere and well-intentioned, but since they do not know the truth of the matter, all quite beside the point. Many decades have passed. There is no one now living who experienced that particular horror except for myself. And who am I to claim to know the truth behind what may have been the first of the many crimes of the century? Nobody. Less than nobody. I was Charlotte Benchley's maid. But before you dismiss my tale as a gain-inspired fantasy of a woman seeking brief, cheap fame, let me say something. It is the life's work of some to pay attention to things others wish to ignore. If it is your job to make sure the silver is clean, you must have an eye for tarnish. If the sheets are to be smooth and straight, you must find the wrinkles. In the matter of the Benchleys and the Newsomes, I saw the tarnish, the wrinkles, and the dirt. If it is your opinion that a maid does not possess the capacity to understand these things, then there is no reason to read on. But if your view is otherwise, please continue. That's how this book begins. And as far as historical murder mysteries go, it's a hoot. It's really good. So I wanted to start a mail haul with a book recommendation, which is A Death of No Importance. If you like historical murder mysteries, you shouldn't miss this book. And now we'll move on to the books themselves. So you'll see what we got here. I got another mail shipment earlier this morning. Terribly sorry. I opened it off camera, but we'll hope that we have plenty to amuse us here. Okay. First one we've seen before. This comes out in late May. It's from Yale University Press by David Scott Caston, and it's called On Color. And I read it and found it a bit flat. It's got blurbs by Jay Perini and Colin Thubrun, and the summary goes, our lives are saturated by color. We live in a world of colors, and color marks our psychological and social existence. But for all color's inescapability, we don't know much about it. The authors of this book, because he wrote it with Stephen Farthing, offer a fresh and imaginative exploration of one of the most intriguing and least understood aspects of everyday experience. And there's a whole bunch of fascinating technical information in this book, but I did not find it absorbing. It's a beautiful production by Yale. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's full of high color, high quality reproductions of art, and some of the discussions of the individual pieces of artwork are also extremely good. It just didn't seem, for me, it didn't seem to gel completely. But anyway, that's an intriguing start. So let's move on here. It feels like these are all finished copies, all three of them. But let's see here. Yes, okay, this is another finished copy, also a May book. This comes out on the 15th of May, right around the corner. This is the finished copy of Peter Kirsanow, Second Strike, the author of Target Omega. And we saw this, I believe, in advanced copy. We'll hold it up again here. Last year, Target Omega introduced Peter Kirsanow as a talented and new thriller writer. A quick scan of his biography, however, showed that Kirsanow was no ordinary debut author. A former member of the National Labor Relations Board, he is a practicing attorney who has testified before Congress on a variety of matters, including the confirmations of 5 Supreme Court justices, and has been considered for cabinet and sub-cabinet level positions. He has his finger on the pulse of Washington, D.C., and after reading his second thriller, Second Strike, readers will have to check their own heart rate. Sharp and timely, Second Strike unfolds in present-day United States, where the nation is experiencing an unprecedented level of instability, faith in government is declining, and Russia is no longer willing to sit quietly and allow the U.S. to remain the world's only superpower. I always get a kick out of that. When book descriptions say, well, the Russians are tired of America being the world's only superpower. I always picture, I know it's not likely to be true, but I always picture China's president getting this pub sheet across his desk and having a translator read it to him and saying, don't we own all the debt for both those countries? So anyway, Special Operator Michael Garin, the former leader of an elite military special operations unit, has already helped thwart a cataclysmic electromagnetic pulse attack against the United States, which was in the first book. But within mere weeks of saving his fellow Americans from disaster, Garin discovers that Russia has triggered an ingenious and even more catastrophic backup plan. Garin's efforts to warn the administration of the new attack, however, fall on deaf ears. No one believes the Russians would initiate another strike of such magnitude so soon. And hence the title, Second Strike. I read the advanced copy that I got. I read a little bit of the beginning, and I smiled the whole time because the author knows exactly what he's doing. But I didn't actually go on. I was sort of standing at my new release shelf, and I sort of started it to get a flavor for it, and also because I was checking the release dates of books. And I smiled, and then I put it down. So this is a perfect illustration of, the kick in the pants that we've talked about, where I use the arrival of a finished copy to motivate me to get around to reading the book, especially since I read nothing else. It's not like I have to balance new releases with anything else. Once in a blue moon, I'll get an older book that I want to read. But I have no excuse. Then we'll do this. We'll do this last one here. Keep it nice. Have a nice, quick video. So what have we got here? Okay. All right. This is new to me. This is from Princeton University Press. It comes out in mid-June. It's by Theodore Porter, and it is called Genetics in the Madhouse: The Unknown History of Human Heredity. From the madness of King George to the early days of eugenics, Genetics in the Madhouse tells the story of how the collection and sorting of hereditary data in mental hospitals, schools for feeble-minded children, and prisons laid the foundation for a new science of human heredity. In this compelling book, renowned author and historian of science Theodore Porter draws on untapped archival evidence from across Europe and North America to bring to light the hidden history behind modern genetics. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, that sounds fantastic. I think on the subject of human genetics and heredity, I think I've already mentioned and praised a book that's coming out next month called She Has Her Mother's Smile, which you shouldn't miss. It is a tremendously good book. But this is a weird, unexpected coda on that. Who is Theodore Porter when he's at home? He's a distinguished professor of history and holds the Peter Rail Chair of University of California, Los Angeles. And he's written a bunch of books. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, this is a nice... Wow, look at the research involved in this. Okay, great. All right, so the gist here is the seamy underside of genetics, of the study of genetics, which is that a lot of the original ground was broken on people who didn't want to be experimental subjects, who didn't want to be repositories for data. They were looking for help. They were looking for mercy, or in some cases, justice. And this is what was learned from them. Oh my. Oh my. This is probably going to make very uncomfortable reading. But I'm fascinated now, especially since I'm primed by She Has Her Mother's Smile to be interested in the subject. Okay, so there we go. So we have Genetics in the Madhouse. Did not know this was coming. Had no idea about it before today, and can't wait. It'll certainly be a book I read and review in June. Then Second Strike by Peter Kirsanow. Then On Color, which some of you might like more. You're gonna see it in your bookstore, so page through it, see if it attracts your attention. It didn't work for me, but it's really well done. So, and then the last thing is not part of the mail haul, and that is A Death of No Importance by Mario Fredericks, which is very, very good. I don't remember if I ever got around to saying that. I so often don't report back on books. I know that we opened it together, but I don't know if I ever mentioned that it was really enjoyable, and it is. And this solves the thing that was bothering me. That's the main reason I wanted to bring it up, because when I encountered Murder on Millionaire's Row, that bothered me, that I had seen that penny drop before. I wanted to make sure you knew, not that any of you care, I wanted to make sure you knew that that's what it was. It's this book that was bothering me. And there you go. So I'll wrap this up for now, and I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.